Irreducible complexity. All right, so we're going to get a little scientific today. David Thomas, hope everybody is doing well. So we're not going to have any tests or quizzes afterwards, so don't worry there if you weren't good in science. But we've talked a lot recently about the existence of God and is that logical and things like that. Now, you've thrown in a little topics here or there, so I want to throw in another topic on that subject. Okay, so bear with me today. Let's talk about irreducible complexity. Now, what does that actually mean? You're going to hear that term when we talk about evolution, creation, those kind of things. This term is actually very simple. Irreducible complexity, actually, what it means is when you have a system that's made up of multiple parts, all of those parts must be in place working together for that system to function at all. All right, pretty simple concept. You need all the parts at the same place, at the same time, working together, functioning for that system to function. So if you remove even one part, what's going to happen? The system's going to collapse, okay? So think about it this way. A simple item like a mousetrap, just a few different components like a base, right? A spring, a hammer, a catch. You need all of those parts for that mousetrap to be a mousetrap. If one of those parts is missing, the trap doesn't work. It's useless. Now, if that's true for something as simple as a mousetrap, how much more must that be true for biological systems that are infinitely more complex? All right. So there's a chemist, a biochemist, Michael Behe, I think is how you pronounce his last name, Behe. He kind of made this concept famous. He pointed to things like bacteria, right? Bacteria flagellum, I believe it's actually called. To throw some more big words at you. Basically, what this is, it's a tiny like outboard motor inside of certain bacteria. So it's got a rotor, it's got a drive shaft, bushings, even a propeller. Okay. And it's got about 40 different parts. And all of those parts are precisely ordered. So if just one of those parts is missing, the motor doesn't spin. The bacteria doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't move. That's an example of irreducible complexity. Now, the big question is, how do you get an irreducibly complex system by blind Darwinian evolution? Right? One step at a time, evolving. If the system only works when all the parts are in place and functional, evolution is supposed to build gradually, right? Piece by piece. But with irreducible complex systems, there's no function until the whole thing is finished and assembled. So natural selection, select it can't select for something that doesn't work yet. Does that make sense? So as it was progressing, it wouldn't be functioning. Therefore, it wouldn't be continuing. So what's the best explanation? Blind forces of nature, time and chance, randomness, or intelligent design? Which makes more logical sense? When you see a motor, in a car, I mean, it's a massive, right? I mean, well, depending on the size of the car, but it's very complex, right? I mean, I have no, like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. You don't look at it and think, oh, this happened by accident, time and chance. No, you think of an engineer, right? Somebody designed this, somebody built it, somebody put it together. When you see code in our DNA, which is infinitely more complex, billions of letters precisely arranged, you don't think it's random typing. No, you would think intelligence, right? You're going to think a mind created this. So irreducible complexity is like God leaving his fingertips, his fingerprints, right? He touched it with his fingertips in our biology. It's as if he's saying, you can't deny me, but you can't not see my work. You can deny him, but you can't deny his engineering. Romans 1 tells us his invisible attributes, his eternal power, and his divine nature have been clearly seen in what has been made. Look around us, right? That includes everything from the stars in the sky to the molecular machines inside of our bodies, right? The bacteria flagellum that I mentioned earlier. So, in other words, irreducible complex systems, right? They scream that there's a designer behind that life. It's not a blind process, but a brilliant mind, and that mind is God. So, I hope you got value out of that today, and this gives you a few things to think about. Take care, God bless, and I will see you back next time. Bye.